Okay, our record. Not the most challenging circuit, but Jens is prepared. He starts off pedaling. Now he's turning left. Looks like he's pedaling here and in an arrow tuck. 29 seconds up, halfway through, still pedaling. Oh, he's standing at 8 minutes to go. Still 112 ahead of record pace, and he set the record, which we knew he was going to do like half an hour ago. I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that's how the race. Despite that cynical intro, I do kind of have to admit that the Hour Record webcast was a pretty good show. Trek and the UCI went a long way to making sure that hour and change was fairly entertaining, and while it was still just Jens, and therefore only 35,000 cycling geeks were in attendance, I could totally see the sponsors of some non-retired big names support a few months of less than stellar results on the road to put forth their own hour attempt. But make no mistake about it, the new hour record is still dumb. I took revenge by vandalizing Wikipedia to list Colby Pierce as the previous record holder. In events that don't involve roofs or plexiglass barricades, Orica Green Edge's Michael Albacini showed both handling skills and fitness, winning the Tre Valle Veracini in weather so bad that 60% of the peloton DNF'd and even Vincenzo Nibali crashed. Albacini's fitness is good news for Trek's Fabian Cancellara, as it will likely hold the still not hour record holding Swiss with a teammate in the only event he seemed to care about since the classics, the World's Road Championship. Last week I mentioned Michał Kwiatkowski's strong performances at the Tour of Britain as raising his world stock, but then, the race got kinda weird. On 2 consecutive stages, a rider from the breakaway group overtook the race lead, and after the final GC test, an 8-kilometer time trial as part of a split stage, it was Garmin's Dylan Van Barle standing tall on the Golden Fleece. While we're talking about Great Britain, shout out to this week's t-shirt donor Neon Velo, an English startup boutique cycling brand. The company has its roots in producing custom cycling tours, supports a UK-based under-23 squad, and assures me that it has plenty of other cool projects currently in development. On top of all this, they sponsor the wife-husband cyclocross team of Gabby and Jeremy Duran, who were kind enough to help me break back into my car this weekend in Boulder. There's a link in the video description to more information about Neon Velo. I know it seems like every rider that does anything this time of year instantly becomes a world's contender, but it's hard to overlook OGE's Simon Guerin's double in Quebec last weekend. The Aussie has made quite the habit of making smart decisions and using his team to the fullest to make sure he's the fastest guy left to sprint at the end of these long, hilly races. I'm gonna call it Guerinsing. It no longer means not finishing your celebratory podium beer. Because Worlds has so many completely disinterested teams, USA, and so many strong riders on relatively small squads, this could result in negative racing that plays even further into Guerin's hands. On the women's side, Rabo Liv's Annemiek van Vleuten took a tape-to-tape win at the Lotto Belisol Belgium Tour. It is perhaps notable for having no strong individual performances from the reigning world champion just a couple days ahead of her title defense. Of course, Marianne Vos's teammates were doing plenty well on their own, and she still did contribute to the TT win, so... Similarly, at the Chrono Champenois, reigning world time trial champion Ellen van Dijk of Boels Dolmans also came away without a win. Though she did take a wrong turn, so... But really, we gotta talk about the naked kits. Fine. Everything about the Bogota Umana kit from the Giro della Toscana, which, by the way, was won by Ale Cipollini's Shelley Olds based on the prologue and first stage wins she had, has already been said. 1, the women who designed it and wear it really don't think it's that much to talk about. 2, everyone knows that man parts are on display everywhere in this sport. 3, Futon Servetto. 4, how this sort of thing looks is completely dependent on lighting. 5, why don't we start talking about the unsafe conditions at the event that prompted most of the field to drop out before we start harping on kits? 6, there are so many other problems in women's cycling, such as Norway not sending its full contingent of riders to the World Championships. But what fewer people seem to have mentioned is that Cookson really threw away a tremendous opportunity for free press with this incident. I mean, how often is women's cycling on BuzzFeed? A few weeks ago, for some non-cyclocosm things, I photoshopped a picture of a pumpkin spice condom. Yes, that was me. Like the naked kits, it ping-ponged around the web until it was caught up in all the internet pool skimmer sites. But rather than harump about standards of taste, which this sort of thing surely would exceed, Durex said, hey, we didn't do this, but it's cool. We like it when people spice things up. The obvious response from Cookson should have been like, hey, that kit's not flesh-colored or see-through, it's actually gold. But it's awesome that you're so interested in women's cycling. Check out the actual Colombian team's kit at the World Championships in just a couple days. But hey, who wants a crack at a couple million eyeballs just days before the biggest UCI race of the year? Standards of decency, that's pretty sexy too, right? I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that was the week in bike.
you.